Hello everyone, this is Kathleen. I am so pleased to bring you this whole stack of the cereal box journals. I'm finally finished. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all together. 6 of them are, other than the cover, exactly the same. And then this little Black Rose and the Royal Mail, they are a little bit different. So I'm going to take these two out for the time being. We'll put them over here. And then I will show you the covers of these, and then we'll do a flip through of one because they are essentially exactly the same except for the covers. So we have this conversation, how to converse journal. Yeah, and then we have this one. You watched me make the cover on this one. We have this pretty blue dahlia. I think those are dahlias. Yeah. We have this remember one. It's kind of a little bit masculine. They all are the same on the inside though. We have this one. It has some painting on it. And home. Yeah. Okay. So let me pick these up and let me just do a quick measurement just so you know. So they are about 7.5 by 5.5. This one is slightly smaller. This one is slightly smaller than that, but only it's just trimmed a little bit. Okay, so let me put them up out of the way. Excuse me, out of the way. And then we'll do a flip through of this one. So it has just this simple elastic hair tie closure. I demonstrated how to use these jeans buttons, and this has collage on the whole cover. The inside is, you watched me do that. It has this dictionary page on the inside, and then this little stamped collage in the back. So in the front, they all have a handmade library pocket with the illustrations from a plant key, and then a library card, a vintage card that I have stamped a little bit on. And then here's just a top corner tuck with a flash card. This is just ripped out of the front of a book, but you know, this paper is often really fun to write on, I think, anyway. Here is the map page with, you know, a pocket. I don't have all of the pockets stuffed. I have, let me think, there are 76 pages altogether in each of the journals. There are 17 pockets and 18 pieces of ephemera that I have included. So here's one of the fold over cluster pockets. I've kept it as kind of a belly band. Altered guest check. On this side, here's this the cluster part with, this is just out of a crossword puzzle book that I got at the thrift store. Here's a book page, and this is an envelope that I made from, it was a pattern for stained glass, a craft book from the thrift store, and I took that handmade envelopes. And then I just have a little note paper and some Monopoly money. And that goes over the top. Then I have just one of these little Tim Holtz paper clips to kind of secure that on there. Some ledger paper, note paper. This is a vintage stenographer's notebook. More book page. This is a junk mail envelope that I have made into a pocket and done just some trashy flowers, punched flowers, some ephemera in that pocket. Some vintage notebook paper, and this is some stationery that I got at the thrift store. A music page that I've made one of those through pockets. Done a little bit of collage here with some texture paste and just some note paper of some kind in this pocket. This is from my mother's college yearbook page. Yeah, I think it's 1941 or 42. Yeah. Here's the pretty cluster belly band that I did. Each of the centers of the signature is a calendar page. And yeah, so I have put one of these cluster belly bands here. And on this side, just a fold over pocket and score sheet. There's one of these bended paper clips to just kind of keep that in place. This is a paint chip with some texture paste and a couple pieces of ephemera. This is just one of those notebooks, you know, that gets turned in to the thrift stores all the time. Comes, I think, as junk mail, and yeah, I find them a lot at the thrift store. This is some kind of a TV quiz game, trivia game. Here's the other part of the pocket. It has another note paper in it. And some tickets, creating a little tuck here. A playing card. And then it's the other side of the signature. Here's another piece of the calendar that I've just made into a little punched pocket. And you saw me do these pretty smushed reverse stencil note cards the other day. Yeah, here is the embossed, sanded book illustration with another. This is from St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. I've just smushed that a little bit with some ink. Here's the other part of that pretty book illustration. Some more recycled notebook paper. Book page. This is a pretty lace pocket. And the Yahtzee score sheet. Some vintage stationery there. And the last pocket, part of the map page, and then this is some of that pretty stationery that looks just like the view to the west. Yeah, so it's a very local kind of image. And that's the end. So that's what the journals have turned out as. Yeah, I really think they've turned out well, and I've managed to keep them at about $48. So I'm hoping that that's going to be inexpensive enough to be within reach of the people who come to the festival. And then I have these other two that are just a little bit different. So this one is largely the same, except it's two signatures. And I wanted to show you this because this is the reason why I love these cereal box covers, because even as it gets more and more full, it just swells and kind of molds around the stuff that's inside, and it ends up feeling so good in your hands. Yeah, I like them. It's a nice size, you know, just one side of the cereal box. And so this one has a few other things. I'll just go quickly through it. This has just a little junk mail envelope pocket with a recipe card in there, and it has this same flashcard tuck, another little smushed inked note paper there, some ephemera, so it has a little more ephemera in this one, so it will probably be a little more expensive. Yep, same pocket. You remember that this is one of the triple layered pockets. This is one of the pattern pockets in the playlist, and I just have some other ephemera in here. So this is just folded. It's just a piece of, you know, paper, but I have folded it in a Z, and then that creates some interest here at the top. So that goes in there. And then here's the calendar page, just a vintage invitation. I made this pretty dyed and stamped envelope. So these just kind of fit in there, and that goes in the pocket. Here's another of the belly bands. There's the clip, just some ephemera. Here's the paint chip and the other pocket. So some of these things see are the same, but I've just added a whole other signature. So this is in the signature, same as the other. There's the lace pocket. Put a little bit of fiber through there. I made one of the patchwork pockets. Just did a little collage there. You might recognize this. This is one of the tags that I made with the long lines. Here's the pretty daisy, and I made an altered paper clip with a junk mail envelope. And this is just some vintage ledger to journal on. Here's the calendar pocket and the reverse stencil journal card. Here's the envelope. I included another little stenciled journal paper. And here's that tuck, embossed and sanded. So it's very similar, just larger. And then finally, so this is what I'm calling kind of a light goth. Yeah, it's named The Black Rose. That just came from a book page. I think it was a chapter heading in a book. I have a button card here. Yeah, I think that turned out really well. And it's just, this is a cracker box that was sanded. So it has a large library type pocket here in the front. I've done a fussy cut image here and just a couple of pieces of ephemera. A vintage notepad. Some different papers in this one. But it's kind of set up, you know, the same. It has the shorts, layered papers that I like. I made this into a pocket. Here's the altered guest check for this one, a little bit on the goth side. This is an image that I got, I don't know, online somewhere, I think, probably the Graphics Fairy, and I altered it by stretching it. Yeah, just to make it look a little more Gothic-ish. There's the crossword puzzle. So here's the layered shorts. Here is just a folded book page, corner tuck with some ephemera. Here's a little book page, and I have folded it up to make a pocket. Included some, this is a vintage ledger notebook paper. And here's the pocket, and I made this pretty card. Just a digital, I can't remember who that is from. If I can find it, I will put it in the description. And here's the envelope. It has a little bit of a different clip on it. And again, some of that pretty goth paper and just an image on that journal paper. And I wanted it to just kind of peek through here. And this is from a book. I think it's an illustration from a book. And then I just have this clip to kind of secure them. Here's another one of my long lines, and I thought it was just a little bit dark, and so I have included it here. It's pretty collaged. This was a masterboard, and that just is a vintage Rolodex card. So here is the cluster belly band. For this one, and I think this is interesting, I put this bug on here, and this bird is staring right at that bug, hoping to catch it, I think. Yeah, just some vintage notebook paper. This is some vintage onion skin paper that will slide in there. This, you remember, was one of Stacy's images from the wilderness. It was left over from those two books that I did, and so in this context I think it looks slightly dark, and so I included it in this kind of light Gothic book. This is one of my cluster pockets. This is in the pocket patterns, and again I've just folded that paper so that it creates some interest. This is also Stacy's image from the Paris kit that I will show you. That's my design team project for this month, and since it was black and white, I printed it off for this journal and put some lace there. the other part of that paper, just vintage playing card and some stamps on that journal paper. This is pretty Art Deco. This is a book of Art Deco patterns that I'm pretty happy with. There's the other side. This was part of a masterboard, and there's the part of the reverse stenciling that I did. And here's another tag from that that pretty paper. I will look for the name of that kit. Yeah, because I was very happy with it. And just a simple book page torn top pocket and a little top tuck. This is also this is from the butterfly kit of Stacy's Bursting Butterflies, and it was also black and white, and so I printed that. And this is some crows. It was a greeting card, recycled. Yeah. Here's our little cluster. And here is one of those layered pockets, again, just with the folded paper. So I have folded it so that I folded first so that it leaves an edge over here, and then I fold again so that there's 3. And I just think that kind of creates some interest here as it rests behind that pocket. And then this is an image, I don't know, out of my drawer, just in my stash, but the colors were kind of dark, and so I have included that, and some vintage ledger. And then the last couple pages. Yep. So that's the light goth one. So that's a whole stack now that are ready to take to the festival, which is coming up this coming Saturday. And I'm ready. I'm ready with about 17 journals. So I'll let you know how it goes. But I hope you're ready to get swamped this week with flip-throughs of all of the journals that I have managed to do. But I know this has been quite a project. I don't think I like mass making very much. I tend to like to just do journals one at a time, and that was reinforced for me. But once in a while, it was a unique circumstance, so I'm glad that I got them done. Thanks for being with me, and wish me luck.